Well, now that Stallone has done Rambo 3 times and Rocky about 17 times, I heard a rumor that he's branching out. He tried out for the part of Hamlet at the Shakespeare Festival. I don't think he got the part because when he auditioned, I know he started the soliloquy, "To be or what?" We'll be right back. Well, Kirk Cameron is indeed a teen heartthrob. Alan Thicke, who plays his father on the show, said that this has greatly enhanced his romantic prospects. Alan's being on the show. He said, "I have something every girl in America wants. Kirk Cameron's home phone number." We'll be right back. Well, talking about Dear Abby, Abby received a letter recently that read, "Dear Abby, I am 44 and would like to meet a man my age with no bad habits." Abby's response was, "So would I." We'll be right back. Well, talking about the very funny Joan Rivers, as she talked about her childhood, Joan quipped, "I knew I was an unwanted baby when I saw that my bath toys were a toaster and a radio." Be right back. Well, talking about acting, that fine actress Glenda Jackson offered this secret of her acting skill. She said, "The important thing in acting is to be able to laugh and cry. If I have to cry, I think of my sex life. If I have to laugh, I think of my sex life." Poor Glenda. We'll be right back. Talking about Joan Collins, when she was asked about her career, Joan Collins said, "I have been called the poor man's everything. I was the poor man's Ava Gardner, the poor man's Bridget Bardot, and the poor man's Elizabeth Taylor. And actually, for the poor man, I didn't do too badly." You're right, Joan. We'll be right back. Talking about jail, I don't know if you saw this in the paper, but a woman prisoner in Pennsylvania was on a work release program. She had to be back to jail by 6:30 in the evening. She couldn't get a ride back, so she stole a truck and drove it to jail. I think she missed the point a bit. We will be right back. Talking about the delightful Bette Midler, referring to her successful string of movies that she's done for the Disney organization, she said, "That's rather surprising considering the fact that if Walt Disney were alive today, he wouldn't let me within 25 yards of the place." Times changed. We'll be right back. Well, talking about middle of the road, I don't want to give away secrets, but our own Summer Bartholomew has an economic philosophy that is considered middle of the road. She spends money left and right. We'll be right back. Speaking of prisons, I don't know if you saw this in the paper, but if you missed it, I wanted to share it with you. A prisoner at a Florida county jail began an escape by hiding in a garbage can. He was discovered during roll call in the morning, however, when he heard his name and compulsively called out, "Here!" True, absolutely true. We'll be right back. Of course, Garrison Keillor became very famous with that Prairie Home Companion. As a matter of fact, he once said that the show is fast becoming legend. People who never listened to it come up and tell me how important it was in their lives. We'll be right back. Well, talking about reviews that are pans, one of my favorite reviews included the following line. The reviewer said, "Although I did not care much for the play, I must admit I saw it at a disadvantage. The curtain was up." Ooh, we'll be right back. Talking about Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe had this advice on how to attract men. She said, "A smart girl is one who knows how to play tennis, golf, piano, and dumb." We'll be right back. Talking about parties, I saw this recently in the paper. 2 Seattle, Washington women have started an unusual party business for women ending a relationship. They supply everything from streamers to shampoo to wash that man right out of the hair. I love the name of the business. They call it Dump the Chump. We'll be right back. Talking about Turnabout being fair play, this is absolutely true. There was a farmer outside of Toronto, Canada, whose property borders a major highway, and he was constantly bothered by people dropping garbage on his land. Well, one day a rather large bag of trash was dropped, so the farmer went through the bag, found the address of the city dweller who owned it. And you guessed it, he loaded his pickup truck, drove it in, and dumped the entire trunk load on that guy's manicured suburban lawn. Good for him. We'll be back. Well, talking about alimony and divorces, one recently divorced woman placed the following ad in the newspaper. It said, "For sale, one wedding dress, worn only once by mistake." We'll be right back. Talking of prunes, I don't know if you saw this in the paper, but Floyd Yulee, the 72-year-old king of the 4th Annual Irregular Prune Parade, I love that, Irregular Prune Parade, in El Monte, California, he failed to show up for the parade. He became ill. He got ill from eating too many prunes. We'll be right back. Talking about the horror movies, I know a lot of the young people like the horror films. They're popular with the fans, but some of the movie critics not quite as well. One critic summed up in a review a recent horror movie by saying, quote, "It is the story of a little girl forced to grow up with a mother who can't act. That's cruel." We'll be right back. Well, talking about USC, Mike being a football player, I'm sure he'd appreciate this. When O.J. Simpson was USC's star running back, the USC coach was asked how they could have O.J. carry the ball 40 times a game. And the coach said, "Why not? It doesn't weigh that much." We'll be right back.